It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbing Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchendo. It's the first day of March. Last month, in the first quarter of 2015, the year is already speeding fast. And it looks like it's moving that fast because politics is distracting us a lot. There's a lot happening in the politics. So much is happening from both major parties and, of course, all the other parties involved. The elections coming up on the 28th of this month. We thought we were in the month of elections last month until things were moved, but it looks like they will hold eventually, hopefully, on the 28th of March. At least the presidential elections will be holding this month. And we'll be talking politics a lot today on the show, as well as, security and all of the things around that. I have here with me to talk about the week that was, and of course, all the things around politics in the last couple of weeks, Mr. Tunde Egghead. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Ebuka.
Or Egghead, as you like to call yourself. How's it going? Let's start with security now. It's something that has still been in the news, even if politics try to take the shine away from it, or so to speak. There's a lot that's been happening in the Northeast. Mr. President visited some of the communities that were retaken by the Nigerian military in the past week. What are your thoughts on how the military has suddenly become this vibrant and taking charge all over again?
I think that was a masterstroke from Mr. President. He probably got that one right, and I commend him for taking that step. But it's a little, for me, it's like too little, too late. I mean, one would not know why he had, deterred from going into the theater of conflict all this period. I mean, if you look at countries like Niger and Cameroon, for how long have they had, this issue with them? And the president of Niger has already been to the theater of the conflict. He's also led the country in a mass, rally across the country. Yesterday in Cameroon, there was a mass rally across the country. All the ministers of government were involved. And even though Cameroon has an absentee president, he was part and parcel of that, rallying the people towards a common purpose, to support, the military of that country. But, I mean, we have a president who pussyfoots. So he's probably not sure, at some point in time, or he was ill-advised, about going into that territory.
Yeah, I was going to come to that. Is it fair to put all of the blame on him, seeing as he has intelligence and security operatives who he said have told him not to come to those regions at those times? And also seeing the fact that, are you also saying that the talk about our military not being well equipped over the past couple of years was not viable enough?
Well, the president, as well as the service chiefs, as well as the government, denied all of this previously. So, I mean, you definitely have to put the blame, at their doorstep, particularly because the president is not only the one who is elected, who is sworn an oath to protect the country and the people, but also who is called properly the commander-in-chief. So you expect him to take certain decisions based on the information that he has received and to, be firm in his decisions to say, okay, I'm going to, there's a government in Borno, in Adamawa, in Yobe, for instance. These people live with their people. Why would the president not be able to go? And there's sometimes when you go into the theater of war, this needs not be announced to anybody. Take a few people, go there, take your pictures, and come back to assure us, to tell us as a nation. Again, how often have the president, addressed us as a nation to tell us what is happening? Look at when he declared the state of emergency. There was no regular reports about what was happening there. We got conflicting reports from different quarters, and we couldn't even show people were running amok with a lot of, erroneous reports coming from, and these are government agencies or departments. Even the president himself, at different points in time, contradicted himself. So it's you can't put it, on anybody but the president. One, he's elected, he's the one who is appointed. Everybody, that is working around him, and they give him daily briefings. So he must take responsibility for whatever is happening in that zone. I mean, you can delegate the task, but you cannot delegate responsibility.
Something you said at the beginning that caught my attention was the fact that you said it was a masterstroke by him.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how this is going to shape the election on March the 28th? Do you think it would have changed a lot of people's minds about voting for him, seeing as things seem to be on the upswing all of a sudden and looks like he's taking charge? Do you think that's going to affect how the elections will go on the 28th?
Now, before we look at the entire country, will it change the mind of those people who have been inflicted the injuries for this length of time that the president has done nothing? I don't think it will. Will it change the impression that the troops who have been on ground, who have been deprived of the equipment that they require to prosecute this war, will it change their mind? Because it's like the president is trying to instrumentalize them for the purpose of winning election. That's why it's coming a little bit too late. you know, he's gone there, and these guys were even disarmed before the president got in. What kind of impression is the commander-in-chief, you know, giving to the troops who are on ground there? These guys have been in these, you know, places, you know, for a long period of time. And if you look at it, even in terms of accountability, part of the things the guys have complained about, apart from equipment, is also that their allowances are not being paid. You know, the hierarchy of the military, of the, you know, security agencies actually, you know, corner, or what you say, edit the allowances of these guys, and it doesn't get to them. How has the commander-in-chief been able to stand his ground to ensure that accountability?
Sorry to cut you, but a lot of people have said that this is mostly hearsay. This whole talk about, you know, them not getting paid and all of that. Do we really have any confirmed source for this news that has sort of taken over the airwaves sort of for the longest time?
The complaints arrive. If you talk to people on ground, they tell you that these guys complain to them every time. I mean, even if there were rumors, as the president or the commander-in-chief of the military hierarchy, have they done anything to confirm, to verify this, to investigate? They've not done anything. So you need to, you know, give people confidence. Confidence building is part of the morale building, you know, a component of the war that is ongoing. So it takes, I mean, it goes beyond the president going into that zone, you know, that has properly been, you know, people have been demobilized, it's been swept, you know, there's been some kind of recce before the president goes in, and he does like breeze in, breeze out, you know, when everything is safe, and then you leave them, before you know it, you know, a bomb goes off, you know, somewhere across the path. I think those things, you know, matter somewhat. So there's no, if you like, genuine or authentic verification of this information is being rife, and when you allow this kind of information to fester for a long period of time, they become the reality. They become what people hold as the truth from that area. So the president has not, I mean, there's been, I mean, look at the instances where the girls were said to have been released, the Chibok girls that were kidnapped, you know, they were abducted. Initially, there were the stories about, you know, the genuineness of that story. The president didn't do anything to verify. He dismissed it. When he came to realization that there was actually something like that, then he was, you know, as I said earlier, he wasn't sure in terms of the decisions to take until the international community started to breathe down his neck. So there are a lot of things that have not been done right. And, you know, I think also, I mean, it's not too late because, I mean, yes, he didn't go when he should go, but never too late until you are dead. So, I mean, he's still there. He's still the commander-in-chief till May 29th. So there's still a lot of things that he can do to remedy whatever has been.
Let's talk a little bit.